Hey guys, it's Maxine. Thank you so much for watching. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a color fill on my client. I already have another color fill video on my channel, so definitely check it out if you want. I'm going to link it below. And so yeah, my client has dark hair naturally, and we do blonde balayage on her like a couple of times a year. And every once in a while, she wants to change it up and do something richer and darker. And yeah, both colors look really good on my client, so it's good that she can kind of do whatever she wants. So this time we're doing her color. We're not going blonde, we're going darker. And yeah, so the color fill process we're going to be doing in this video, and it's the process of going darker, whereas a lot of times people are used to blonding and taking all of the warmth out of the hair, but in this case we're going to be adding all of the warmth back into the hair, and then the second color will be like the nice rich dark brown color that we choose. Also, stay tuned for an upcoming video. I'm going to be doing a Q&A on the color fill video that I posted, because a lot of questions were asked, way too many for me to be able to keep up with them. So I definitely want to do like a full video and answer all of your questions. So definitely stay tuned for that. And also, if you guys have any questions about color fills and stuff like that, definitely post them in this video and I will try to include them in that Q&A. But anyway, definitely don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's at Maxine Glynn, and I always post all of my formulas on my pictures, so definitely check that out. It's like a nice tool to have to kind of like reference if you're doing colors and you want to see the formula like written out. Also, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel, especially if you guys like seeing hair tutorials, like color videos, and I have a haircut video coming soon, so definitely, subscribe and stick around and join my YouTube family. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and definitely try to share it with anybody that you think it could help. Like if you have any coworkers or friends that are in cosmetology school or anything, definitely share this video with people you think it could help. And yeah, so if you guys want to learn how to do a color fill and watch me take my client from blonde to dark rich brown, then definitely keep watching. Okay, so the formula I'm going to be mixing up for the color fill part is Matrix Color Sync, which is a demi-permanent, and I'm mixing together 2 ounces of 6CG, which is copper gold, and 1 ounce of 5RB, which is red brown, and I mixed up ½ ounce of 4RB and ½ ounce of 6RB to make 1 ounce of 5RB. I know it's a lot of random numbers throwing around there, but like I said, I'm going to post a picture on my Instagram and all of it's going to be written out. But this is the color fill formula, and basically like the rule of thumb for color filling is that I like to follow is whatever like goal level they want to be. So in my case, my client I would say is a natural level 4. She wants to be darker than her natural color, so I'm going to be making her like closer to a level 3, maybe 3.5, not so dark, like kind of in the middle, but the richness of it always makes it look darker, But so my client's like naturally level 4 and she wants to be a touch darker. So I want to make my color fill formula about 2 levels lighter. So that's why I'm using the 6CG and the 5RB. And when you're going this dark, like when you're dyeing somebody's hair like to a dark brown level like I'm going to be, it's really important to put the same warm tones that would be in the underlying pigment of the dark color. So like that's why I'm putting the color red in and not just doing CG. If I was to be just color filling and making my client like a light brown, I wouldn't even need the RB. That would be way too much red for a light brown. But because I'm doing such a dark brown, we need a lot of red, because in the darkest brown colors, there's so much red. It's such like a strong pigment in the dark brown. So because we're doing really dark brown, we're adding the RB, and I don't want to add like RR or something like really red, because that's just going to make it kind of too hard to cancel when we're canceling it for the nice pretty dark brown color. So the B in the RB tone is just kind of helping to brown it out a little bit and make it more of like a natural type of red, like a cherry cola type of red, not like a fire engine red, And yeah, so The copper is really important to add. Also, copper, gold, and red are like the three colors that you really want to add into color fills. So I usually add like a mix of the copper gold in some way, different levels, like it depends. My last color fill video we didn't go like as dark as her, so I don't think I used like the level 5. I think I just kept it all in the level 6 range. So yeah, so most of the time I feel like I keep it close to level 6, like I said, unless we're going into the really dark tones like I'm doing today. And I want to point out that I'm applying the color fill formula just on the blonde part. And I'm just feathering it up slightly just to kind of cover any previous balayage. But yeah, for the most part, I'm just putting this all over the blonde because the dark brown that's naturally in her hair, like her natural roots, it has all of these underlying warm tones in them. Even though you can't see it, that's the point. So it has red, like a dark red, it has copper, it has gold, all in her natural. So the point of this is to be adding this back into the blonde that we originally took all of this warm colors out of. So now we're just reversing the process and adding all of the warm back in so that when we do put the dark brown color over it later, it's not going to turn like a weird greenish color or like a tinge like if you just skipped the color fill part altogether and you didn't add any of the warm tones. I know that was like one of the questions that I got like a lot in my last color fill video, so I'll just answer that right now, I guess. But one of the questions was, can I just skip the color fill adding the warmth process in like I'm doing now and just put the dark brown over it? I'm not going that dark, I'm staying like a lighter brown or whatever. Like the questions kind of varied, but for the most part people were asking, can I just skip the color fill part and just put the dark brown over it? But you can't, like you can do that of course, but it's always going to have like a tinge of this like muddy color. So it's 100% not a good idea. You always want to do the color fill, because if you just put like a dark brown over blonde without adding red into it first or copper, you're going to get green hair. Like, and even if it's not just like a highlighter green or something like that, like even if it's not just like so strong green, you're going to have brown hair, but you're going to see so much green like in the light, if that makes sense. Like the tone of it is going to be green. Dark brown should never have a tone of green. Like it's just going to look muddy and mucky and swampy, and it's no good. So you definitely want to always add the color fill. It's the most important thing. It's kind of confusing for people because it's not very commonly like taught. I feel like we're so taught how to highlight and how to blonde and go lighter and remove orange and, you know, red and all those colors, but it's like kind of a little bit harder to, I just don't remember learning much about it like when I was in cosmetology school or when I was just learning how to do hair. Like it's kind of not really that commonly taught, I feel like, to do color fills, but it's really important to go back in, look at the chart, the color fill, like the color wheel, like you'll see where like the opposite colors are, or like the underlying pigments of each level. So like if you're going to be filling, if somebody wants to be like light brown, then you just have to fill with copper or gold. You don't need like dark red or anything. But in my case, since my client wants to be like a level 3, there's so much red in the level 3. If you look at the chart, like I'll find one and I'll put it on the screen, but you have to add the red in. And I know some people are afraid of adding red onto blonde because the client who has the intention of going dark brown is like, I want to go darker and I don't want to see any red. So like it's kind of scary to add red and copper on blonde hair, you know what I mean? So I get that, but it's like, it's just as important as like if a client wants to be blonde and you have to like put the highlights on and you have to wait for the lightener to lift the hair past those certain like warm tones. Like if the client wants to be a light beigey blonde, you have to open up the foil and like check on it and make sure that the lightener is lifting the hair past warm copper and light copper and dark yellow and pale. Like you have to wait until it's a pale yellow, or else your client's not going to get what they want. Like, so it's kind of like that. It's like you have to just trust the process and just understand the process and then trust the process. So it's like, I understand that it's scary to put red on the client's hair, especially if they're like crazy and they're like, I don't want any red, you know, but it's extremely important. Yeah, so that's just like my little tip. Be brave. Anyway, yeah, so this is going to be processing on my client for like 20 minutes, and you don't need any heat or anything. It could be processing in open air. You can see already like the red is taking, and it's taking to like the blonde and darkening it. Sometimes I put a cap over my client's hair, and sometimes I just process them open air, but about 20 minutes is fine. And after that, we're going to be washing, and I'm not going to really wash the roots too much. Like I'm just going to kind of, yeah, see, I'm bagging the hair. That's just going to help lock the heat in and open up the cuticle for the ends. I probably bagged it because she has such long hair, and I wanted the heat to like touch the ends. To help open up the cuticle so that the pigment really goes underneath her cuticle. And yeah, so I'm going to wash the hair, but like I said, I'm not really going to go too crazy washing the root because we have to dry it. And right now I washed it, I conditioned it, and I shook it all dry. So this is completely dry. This is after this colorful formula. You see how it's like a reddish brown? You don't even see any copper. Like it's just completely browned out. So that's not really that scary, right? Like red on blonde hair, it's like barely even red. But yeah, it's definitely necessary, and I shook it completely dry. And now I'm going to be going to mix up the dark brown color, like which is the gold color that we want, the nice rich dark brown, about a level darker than her natural color. So I'm going to be going back to the color bar and mixing up. So the formula for the dark brown is Matrix Color Sync 10 volume, and this is demi-permanent again. And it's important for me to use demi-permanent, especially because my clients a lot of times do like to change it up, so I don't have to worry about lifting this back out of the hair one day when she wants to go back to her blonde balayage. It's going to make it a lot better. But yeah, so my formula is 5N and 5A equal parts, and my salon doesn't carry level 5, so I'm doing half of 4 and half of 6 to make 5. And yeah, so level 5, N and A. And the A is going to cancel all of this red now, you know? Like, she likes the ashy colors, so she likes her blonde to be ashy. She likes the dark brown to be ashy. So she definitely doesn't want to see red, like I was saying before. And yeah, so the ash is going to cancel all of this red out, but it's not so overwhelming of the red undertone, so I don't need like full ash. That's why I'm mixing it with neutral. Also, going darker, a lot of times neutral is ashy. Like if the ends are like a little porous, the neutral will pull ashy. So a full formula of ash might be too much, so that's why I'm mixing it with neutral. And of course I'm adding in my trusty Olaplex, and yeah, it's definitely really good. Olaplex adds so much strength to the hair and shine. It helps the color last longer. My clients love it, and I love adding it in. It really is a lifesaver. And yeah, so this color is going on the roots and the ends, and I'm really saturating it really good on the ends. Like, I definitely want to cancel all this red and yeah, give my client a nice rich color. So never slack on color. Like, sometimes I do stretch the color out, which means like if I only have a little bit of hair left, and I try to like, mush the color through, make it work so I don't have to go mix up more color. But for the most part, you want to really saturate this hair. Like, so if you feel like you need to go mix more to really get this saturated, then go mix more, Yeah, so I'm just going to finish applying this all over my client's head and let her process for 20 minutes with a cap. So I'm just mushing the color all throughout her roots to make sure everything is really nice and saturated on her roots. But I just want to point out that the only reason why I'm mushing it through the roots like this is because it is a demi-permanent. I would never do this if I was using a permanent color because permanent colors have ammonia in them, so they're a lot stronger. And you never want to stimulate the scalp in any way when you're doing like a permanent color like that because it makes the blood flow rush to the scalp and it can make the scalp very sensitive. So you just never want to stimulate the scalp in that way when you're using like a permanent color. But since I'm using a demi-permanent and there's no ammonia, it's not a big deal to mush it through the scalp, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's fine to stimulate the scalp if you're not using anything strong. I just wanted to point that out. After I finish applying a color, especially if it's a dark color, I really like to go back in with a towel with a little bit of water on it and just kind of go along the hairline and just break up any strong line on the hairline because I hate having to deal with, getting rid of a shadow on the hairline in the sink later. I remember when I was an assistant a million years ago, it was such a pain in the ass to deal with that and to deal with color remover and all that. So I just avoid all that by just breaking up that line with the towel a bit before they even kind of start processing, and then it makes your life a lot easier later when you're washing it out. I like to put cotton around the hairline and put a cap on because if the client processes under heat or anything, it avoids any dripping of the color into the eyes. So yeah, I just let her process open air just underneath the cap, no dryer, for about 20 minutes. I didn't want it to get too dark. That's why I didn't put her under the dryer. I went ahead and I cut her hair already, and that's going to be my haircut video coming soon. It's a long layered haircut. And yeah, so I cut it and I styled it, and now I'm going to be adding some beach waves into it, but I just love looking at the color when it's all straight because it's just different. You see the shine line in a different way. But yeah, I love it. And then we added beach waves, and now I'm going in with a Paul Mitchell super skinny serum and adding in that nice finishing. It adds the shine and it makes for really nice pictures, and it just smells good. I love when my clients get to leave with salon smelling quality hair. I just love that. And of course you get that with the shampoos, and I used Redken Color Extend shampoo for when I took her back to the sink, and Biolage detangling solution conditioner for the conditioner, and I just love it so much. And this is the final result. This is the color fill all complete. We added all of the warmth back into the ends where the blonde was, and then we did the dark brown color over it, and it's so rich and shiny, and we just love it. Like I said, it looks so good on my client, and I love that she can do an ashy blonde balayage. That looks so pretty on her too, and then whenever she wants to switch it up and go a rich dark, this looks amazing on her. So yeah, she loves it, and we love how it looks really shiny, and I love adding the beach waves after a color. I feel it really just kind of brings out the style and the shine of it and everything. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching my color fill video. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys got a lot out of it. I hope you learned a lot. And yeah, I really love sharing my tips and tricks and knowledge with you guys. I've friggin' been in this career for so many years now, and I wish that this was a thing when I was learning, but I'm just glad I get to share it with you guys. And if you made it to the very end in this spot right here, you're a real one, so love you. And definitely, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up, leave any comments and questions you have down below. Always follow me on Instagram, especially if you want my written out formulas. And yeah, definitely share this video with anybody that you think it could help. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll be back with another video soon. And yeah, so have a good one, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!